A View of the Woods is my favorite Flannery O'Connor story. Mary Fortune and her yellow dress running alongside the bulldozers, the disembodied gorging of the earth. That is my favorite Flannery O'Connor story.
I probably have two that I really can't choose between. The Displaced Person in the first volume, just because it is so rich, and it also has its own history with the film and the interest in race and those kinds of things. And then from the second volume, Revelation, it's a text that every time I read it, I'm moved by the experience that Mrs. Turpin goes through.
Probably my favorite story that I read of O'Connor's, read in Bruce Gentry's class, and it's Greenleaf, about Miss May and Miss Greenleaf, and kind of the juxtaposition between the two, and the exploration she does with religion in the two stories is in land, and what it means to be in charge of so much land. It's probably my favorite story.
My favorite story, probably because of where we're standing right now, is The Displaced Person. I'm interested in agricultural change in the middle of the 20th century, and that story is a perfect snapshot of what's happening on southern farms as they're converting first from cotton to milking, and then from milking to beef. And in the midst of that cultural change, there are human lives taking place, personal dramas playing out, and that story captures all of those elements fused into one.
I think my favorite story right now is probably A Temple of the Holy Ghost, and I like that story in particular because it's one of the few that openly talks about Catholicism and sort of shows the clash between Protestantism and Catholicism. Most especially I like it because even the very young can have a comeuppance, and in that story I think the narrator really embraces her change and her moment of grace, and we see a little bit of what happens to her as a result of it. And some of the stories just end on the moment of grace, but that story takes it a little bit farther.
My favorite Flannery O'Connor story is A Good Man is Hard to Find, because I find even though I've read it 10,000 times, it keeps getting stranger and stranger to me. I like all Flannery O'Connor stories. I don't even have much of a sense of major and minor. I like them all. But that's the story where no matter how many times I think I have figured it all out, that I've got my reading of it, the next time I go through it, 3 or 4 more things will pop out at me and tell me that I've still got this story to figure out, and I just love that experience. It's like the literature major experience par excellence.